Everyone in Oneness, thank you so much for watching this video. In Oneness, I'm Jessica Delmar. This video is going to be an energy or an Ascension Energy update for July. June just flew by. July is opening up with some really intense energy that continues to unfold from the summer solstice June portal, which opened up this doorway for divine masculine to open up onto the planet. And if you haven't yet watched that summer solstice video, I'll put a link to that video below. First of all, there's been some other things unfolding. I'm going to go deeper into this in one of my next videos, but basically this trilogy energy that's been opening is very intense. It's very powerful. And what has been coming through is that people who hold either one of the divine creation energies, the trilogy energies, the divine masculine, divine feminine, or Christ consciousness energy, or if you hold balanced all three of them, you are basically a vessel, a pillar of light at this time as these trilogy energies are opening up through these doorways. So the divine feminine doorway was with the spring equinox, and so it opened and unfolded a wave of divine feminine energy onto the planet. The divine masculine doorway was that summer solstice doorway. And what's happening right now, especially for a lot of people who resonate with my messages, because I resonate and work very strongly with that divine masculine energy, is that if you're holding balanced divine masculine energy, and this works for any of the trilogy energies, then you are in a place to serve as this pillar of light, this vessel for that divine masculine energy to move through you and into the collective consciousness. So this trilogy energy, these three waves of energy, are not necessarily, actually they are not hitting the planet from an outside source. They are coming from within and moving from within and working within individuals on the planet who are holding the balanced aspects of these energies so that you can hold that resonance and allow that balanced creation energy to move through you and into and do its greater work in the collective consciousness. And so for a lot of people, if you are holding a balanced energy, then it's moving through you. A lot of people are experiencing a lot of the lower energies coming up for you because you are literally opening the doorway into the collective consciousness for that balanced divine masculine to move through you and into the collective consciousness. For a lot of people, if you are not holding balanced divine masculine energy, then this is still bringing up a lot of the shadowy, lower vibrational aspects that you may still be holding on to in order to balance it more within. So regardless, this is a very intense time for lower vibration to kind of open into your awareness, whether you are trying to balance your energy or not, because you're holding open that door, you're going to be hit with a tidal wave of energy, of that strong collective consciousness energy, which may not necessarily resonate with your own energy. So this month of July is going to be very intense as the divine masculine continues to open and unfold. And so the cards that came through for this month of July were fiery cards. In the summer solstice video, we spoke about this divine masculine energy being very fiery energy, very warm energy. So it very much coincides with the summer months, and also connects very strongly with the lower three chakras, the root chakra, the sacral, and the solar plexus. The trilogy energy right now is working with those lower three chakras to balance, cleanse, clear, release what no longer serves within the individual as well as the collective, because a lot of the old programs, the old paradigms, the lower vibrations, blockages, those types of things are held within the lower chakras that are very much grounding people into the matrix or into the paradigm that they choose to exist within. Moving forward, we are very quickly and very strongly separating that 3D from the 5D, especially in your consciousness and your ability to perceive your reality in your individual paradigm, whatever you believe in. And so these trilogy energies are very strongly moving people into the pipeline, either 3D or 5D, that you are meant to be moving forward in. And this is something that you've chosen on a soul level. And so, especially now with a lot of the lower vibrations, a lot of the shadow stuff coming up for a lot of people, it's going to either ground you even further into those lower vibrations, or it's going to shift something within you to say, you know, I've had enough. I'm shifting and consciously moving that pendulum into the opposite direction. So July energy, very fiery, very strong, very intense. A lot of the lower energetic, the chakras and the lower chakra energies came forward in the cards that I've sat with for a little while before recording this. So we have the awakening card, very much telling us, you know, the awakening is happening. Things are happening. Shifts are happening right now, especially with the unfolding of the divine masculine on the planet with this fiery, fiery energy, working a lot with the sacral energy, the sacral chakra in a lot of people. And again, like I was saying, just in general, the lower 3 chakras, ancient wisdom energy, inner lost knowledge, heavily and powerfully coming to the surface. Or actually, it's kind of like the beginning stages of having the unfolding for inner lost knowledge within a lot of people, because these shifts are being made in those lower chakras. And for a lot of people, the blockages in those lower chakras is what is blocking people from receiving their inner lost knowledge, from making stronger connections to your higher self, from blocking your connection to your soul memory and your past life knowledge and stuff like that. And so clearing the lower 3 chakras is going to open up so much for the person who is able to get to a point of fully releasing, cleansing, and clearing and healing those lower 3 chakras. And this year of 2019 is very, very much about really releasing and healing those lower 3 chakras. But the energy for this month is very much pointing to the sacral energy in terms of cleansing, clearing, and healing with that fiery energy. What had come through before recording this video is the energy of intense heat and fiery energy. And I asked what the purpose of this extreme heat, this intense fiery energy was, and what it's doing within us. And what came through basically was, you know, fire, what it does is it scorches everything. It is scorching basically those lower 3 chakras, burning everything that no longer serves you. And it's only after everything is scorched that new things can begin opening up. And so I think that's the purpose, you know, like burn it all to the ground and rebuild from the ground up. Rebuild your new areas of expansion, new levels of expansion. And not only that, but when everything is burned to the ground, there's space. And it's offering and making space for new expansive energies to come in. And when everything is clear, cleansed, released from those lower 3 chakras, you can begin integrating all of this new energy that will help, again, propel you into new levels of expansion, new areas of growth in your ascension process. And this also works a lot with, you know, there's a lot of people have been feeling stuck in terms of moving forward on the ascension journey and process and what's next to come. And so that feeling of stuck energy. This divine masculine is also working with that in order to get things flowing and get movement in for the next layers of expansion and the next unfolding of your ascension journey to begin taking place. There's going to be movement, especially in 2020. I see a lot of movement because of the work of releasing the things that no longer serve you, those blockages, those hindrances, past life stuff, trauma, suffering, like challenges, things that have added to the blockage in your lower 3 chakras. Because of the work that's being done in 2019, this year, with this trilogy energy, balancing energy within people, 2020 is going to, I feel a flow of energy in 2020. New energy, new growth, new expansion. The transformation card came through, which connects me to the solar plexus. And basically there's a lot of transformation happening within the solar plexus to help get you into a place to receive your inner lost knowledge. That is kind of unfolding right now. It's the beginning stages of really making space, making that open access to receive your inner lost knowledge. There's a lot of transformation happening because of what's going on with those lower chakras. And basically the fear card also came through regarding what's going on with those lower chakras, cleansing the fear, a lot of fear in the collective energy coming through to be released. This is going to open up into your direct reality, your emotions, the vibration that you're holding. As things come up for you that may or may not be your energy, you may be feeling it from the collective energy, so keep that in mind. But also very, very deep things like residue that you've been holding within those lower chakras. If you've been holding anything from past lives, ancestral stuff, bloodline, your lineage, that's all going to start coming up for you to clear with this fiery divine masculine energy as summer unfolds. Another thing that came through before this recording was I had asked about the different hemispheres and how the opposite hemisphere is going through different seasons, obviously. And what had come through is the trilogy energy opening on the planet right now is balanced energy. It is balanced divine feminine. It is balanced divine masculine. It is balanced Christ consciousness. It is trying to balance energy within the collective, within the planet, within individuals at this time. And so it doesn't necessarily matter how it manifests or the energy that it works with. Divine feminine can work with both hot and cold, creative and destructive. Same goes with divine masculine and Christ consciousness energy. It is an energy, but it is connected to the way that I am perceiving things in my reality, which also extend into the way that I perceive the collective and everything going on and how I read the energy. But of course, divine masculine is still showing up in the opposite hemisphere, in the weather there, in the way that it's playing out there. The energy, like the underlying energy, is still coming up the same in regards to clearing and cleansing those chakras, the lower chakras. It could possibly maybe be working with different chakras because they are experiencing different weather patterns. But generally, it's about that cleansing, clearing process, releasing all of that old stuff and making room for the new expansive energy to come in order to be open to that open flow and movement of whatever's coming next for you on your ascension journey. So the fear card, again, releasing a lot of that fear, a lot of that lower vibrations within the collective energy, in order to make space for the greater awakening, in order to make space for your inner lost knowledge to come through and for new areas of expansion and transformation to open up for you. The other cards that came through were very kind of balanced energy cards, where it's dealing with the air, it's dealing with water to balance a lot of that fiery energy. And so the Grace card came through first, basically saying that, throughout all of this fiery energy, throughout this very intense energy that's happening with the opening of divine masculine, there is energy of grace, which kind of cools it down. It offers that balanced energy, even within that fiery energy. It brings that divine masculine back into balance, back into that 0 point, where this energy of grace is just flowing energy. It's cool, it's calm, it's serene, it's peaceful. And grace is really being offered and opened onto the planet alongside that divine balanced masculine energy for those who may be experiencing intense times right now, meaning if you're experiencing suffering, challenges, pain, trauma, if you're experiencing a lot of those lower vibrations and emotions coming up for you, manifesting in your physical reality, this right now with the energy of July, this balanced divine masculine energy wants you to know that there is high and powerful layers and energies of grace also being offered at the same time. In that seemingly destructive fiery energy burning everything within our chakras to release everything, so to speak, it is also coming alongside the flow of grace energy. And so if you're able, it's like in order to release and really burn everything to the ground, a person may feel like it's devastation. A person may feel like, everything is being destroyed for them, or they're experiencing a lot of this intense lower vibrational energy as everything is being so-called burned through that divine masculine energy. And so if you are experiencing something along those lines, also know that it's definitely happening for a reason, in terms of everything needs to go, everything needs to be released in order to open new things. But at the same time, this is all about perception. It's all about where you are vibrationally, and where you are vibrationally is what the lens is in front of your face. And so you may not necessarily see that there's hope and there's grace being offered, and that there is greater purpose in something, in the devastation, in the lower vibration coming up for you, in the fear coming up for you, in the release, in the cleansing and clearing. But know that there is a new lens being formed in the clearing of everything. And it's trying to get you to see and grab hold of the hands and the ropes that are in front of you as you are moving through whatever you're moving through, if you're moving through those lower vibrations. There is calm on the other side of the storm. There is green pastures on the other side of the storm. There is creation on the other side of fire and destruction. And the energy of grace is very much being offered at this time for people to connect to the energy of a greater power, a greater purpose, energy of flow, energy of divine timing and unfolding, energy of love and compassion and forgiveness, even if you are moving through those lower vibrations. The reason why it's reversed is because you have to call it in for yourself. You have to have that intention for yourself to connect to this divine grace energy, this divine love, because then it will help shift your perception. It will help shift you out of those lower vibrations and open up the door into something higher vibrational, into something new. It'll help you see those hands that are being outstretched to you. It'll help you see the ropes that will help you climb up out of that hole that you're in. So you have to intentionally call grace in, and intentionally align yourself to receiving the energy of grace. And the Goddess of Air card came through, which basically reminds us of what had come through. The message of this card is your inner voice. So it's really important at this time to connect to your inner voice as all of this stuff is coming up for you, because in your inner voice is your connection to your higher self, which helps you to align and connect more with this energy of grace. Call this energy of grace in. It connects you more to your now moment. Your inner voice if you make the intention to hold or to have your inner voice be aligned to your higher vibrational higher self versus, a lot of people's inner voices are very low vibrational. It's connected to their ego. It's connected to their 3D lower vibrational aspect. But this time, as everything is kind of starting to come into this clearing, cleansing process, burning everything to the ground, just, not literally, I hope, but very energetically in terms of releasing. It's like, despite any chaos that may come up for you, always listen to your inner voice. This energy of July is offering you the inner voice of higher vibration, of your higher self. It's almost as if they're kind of showing me, as things kind of really fully release and let go and cleanse and clear, it's almost like it makes space for higher vibration. So they're showing me that it's making space for you to, or for your higher self to connect to you. So even if you may be in lower vibrational spaces, your inner voice will constantly pull you into a space of hope, into a space of aligning to the energy of grace, into a space of knowing that all is truly well, knowing that there's a higher purpose and a higher power that's helping you along throughout whatever you may be going through. So your inner voice is very important this month of July. The good news is that July energy is very much offering you the inner voice of grace and of your higher self it's like it's dangling the light in front of you, even if you may be experiencing darkness. And so it may be easier possibly for you to see that light and for you to grab hold of higher vibrations, even if you may be going through a bit more of the lower vibrational stuff coming up. So keep that in mind as you move through this cleansing and clearing process, that there's always that hope that is really pulling at you right now and calling for you. And before, in the very, very low vibrations, if you're experiencing low vibrations, it may have been harder to see that hope or feel that hope, or see that there are hands outstretched to you and that there is guidance, divine guidance for you. But now I feel like it may be easier for people to see that and feel it and grab hold of it, despite going through lower vibrations, especially the light workers who have been doing the work and maybe opening the door into that collective consciousness. So being hit with this tidal wave of low vibrational energy, or if you're still holding residue, maybe that may be amplifying within you as you're cleansing and clearing those last pieces of whatever you're holding. But despite all of that, your inner voice is going to be so strong, and it's going to help lead you into your new areas of expansion. It's going to help lead you through all of that stuff coming up for you, so that you're making it to the next step and the next step and the next step versus falling back. Your inner voice is going to constantly be pushing you forward into what comes next for you after all of this has been cleared and cleansed within you. And so finally, just general energy of July, the card that came through was the Perseverance card, meaning keep going. And this very much aligns to that inner voice card, that inner voice of hope, your higher self pushing you along. They're saying, grab hold of everything in your reality, in your awareness that is offering hope for you. Grab hold of those synchronicities, grab hold of the messages that you think are coming from your guidance system, your higher self, because they are coming from your guides, they are coming from your higher self. Do not doubt during this time, meaning when you receive those messages, when you receive the synchronicities, when you receive feelings of hope, when you receive those repetitive numbers or patterns, hold on to it. Milk it, feel it, really in those moments, feel your connection to your higher self and your spirit guidance teams who are always guiding you towards grace and towards your inner voice of hope and wonder and ease and flow and high vibration, and love and compassion and forgiveness. So keep going, because there's so much I feel going to be unfolding over the next, I can't even tell you how long, but I feel it, and it's coming in terms of, again, not only within your individual realities, but within the collective, so globally. And we all know how that global stage can very much affect the individual vibration, and how a lot of the events happening within the world are very much there to also trigger things within you, manipulate energy. And so this inner voice is becoming strong this month of July, because it's helping to bring forth more of that inner empowerment within you, especially because we're working with these lower chakras and working with harnessing the inner empowerment, working with harnessing your I am presence, your inner strength, your inner knowing, your inner power, your inner purpose, so that you're not so affected by things that are seemingly outside of you, so that you can stand firm in your inner empowerment and make those choices for yourself, mold your reality for yourself, and step into new areas of expansion, because you are doing the work within yourself without being so attached to things that are seemingly outside of you, without being so influenced by those things outside of you, which may try to drag you down or may try to influence you or manipulate you in some way, your energy. Holding fast and really strengthening that inner voice and really working with those lower 3 chakras is going to help propel so many people into new areas of expansion, just through harnessing more of that inner empowerment. Because when you hold that inner empowerment, especially with these lower 3 chakras, everything else falls into place in terms of that domino effect. And the energies, the trilogy energy right now is very much about getting to the very, very core of you, that inner empowerment, that not only balances your entire being, your entire energetic system, but it helps bring forward your inner lost knowledge, and it helps you to make better choices when it comes to discernment, when it comes to what you resonate with moving forward, which only help you to propel further and further and further along on your journey. And so keep going, again, perseverance, keep going, keep going, keep going. Another thing that came up recently in the past few days as I was kind of looking into July's energy without these cards, what had come up was more intense integrating. So a lot of the information that's been coming through for me and that I'm going to begin sharing in July is speaking about the body and soul alignment and integration. So for a lot of people, the physical body and the non-physical soul are not in as much of alignment as it could be. And this causes resistance, it causes blockages, it causes a lot of the challenges that we face in our everyday realities, because for a lot of people in their physical aspects, you may not be necessarily fulfilling what your non-physical soul desires to be fulfilled. And so it creates all this type of suffering in the physical. So this month there's a reason why all this information is coming through in terms of body-soul alignment and sort of the steps that the physical body and the non-physical soul take to come back into alignment, which I'm going to be sharing in July. And so I think this month of July is going to be a very powerful time, especially connected to the cleansing, clearing process of those lower chakras, in strengthening your inner empowerment, working with your inner voice, and having you more connected to your higher self inner voice or your spirit guidance inner voice. I think that all really is a step forward into the body, soul coming back into alignment. So going through this process of integration, going through this process of cleansing, clearing, making space for that to happen in the next steps of your journey. Again, all of this stuff has to come up. It has to be released and healed within you. And it can come in the form of, it can come in many different forms in terms of that releasing and clearing and cleansing and healing process. It can come in energetic forms, feelings of your vibration, emotional things coming up for you, physical symptoms. So I've also been experiencing a lot of the physical symptoms coming back to really, it's like, I hope at least one last push of releasing things within me that no longer serve, and getting, for a lot of people, the body-soul alignment in the physical body, because your 3D physical body trying to catch up with a person who has energy in 5D, that alignment is a bit harder. So there's a lot of physical symptoms that are involved in that process, because it is quite the challenge for that physical body to get to a place where it can catch up with that much higher vibrational energy. So a lot of light workers may be experiencing this. If you're experiencing a lot of these things coming up for you, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or anything else that comes into your awareness that offers some sort of turmoil or some sort of resistance feelings, it's like they're showing me trying to fit, a circle into a square peg or a square hole. And so it's like it's happening, it's going to happen, that circle is going to mold into that square, but the process is not easy. And so this whole process of integrating the balanced divine feminine, divine masculine, and Christ consciousness trilogy energy is just part of that journey of fitting that circle into the square, and it's going to fit again. It's going to get merged in there. It's just a process, and it's part of the journey. It's part of the integration. And we're just stepping up in integration because the energies and the vibration of the planet are stepping up. And especially with this trilogy energy, it's really forcing people into those next layers of expansion. And there's an acclimation process. There is that process that you have to go to get into that transformation stage. The caterpillar has to go through that cocoon to become a butterfly, but it can happen even if you feel like it can't happen. And we're very much in that cocoon phase. It may be uncomfortable at times, but there is the other side. There is something that you're working towards. There is movement happening, and this is just part of the process. And that's what needed to come through for July's Ascension Energy. Continue looking towards the energy of hope and grace and ease and flow. Be guided by your inner voice of wisdom, your inner voice of your higher self coming through for you. And know that there is much happening within you right now that is trying to get you aligned with your inner lost knowledge to flow forward for you. So this is part of the journey in terms of, if things start coming into your awareness that you resonate with, especially knowledge things, whether it's past ancient knowledge that may start sparking some sort of inspiration or passion within you, definitely move with it. Go with where you feel called. Follow your resonance. Follow the things that you align with, that spark curiosity, that spark wonder, that spark magic within you, and you'll continue moving forward and forward and forward. Thank you so much for watching this video. Together with you in oneness, I am Jessica Delmar. Oneness and love be with you.